Big box, little box.
Windscale, don't be tough. Wyndham's all that remains these days. I'm not the one that can give you the answers you seek, lad. Get yourself down to Grendel's Head. I heard they're doing breakfast today. Don't get any ideas about going outside the walls either. I know. They said it was only temporary, but it's been years of quarantine now. All I know is bandit activity's apparently on the rise, and who knows what's really out there. If I were you, go to Grendel's Head, get some breakfast, maybe see if they've got that magazine you like. You know, the Atomfall one. Have a cup of tea, get a pint, and wait for this whole thing to blow over.
Hi, I'm Danny. I'm from Big Box, Little Box, Unbox, and I'm with.
Ryan Greene, art director for Atomfall.
Nice to meet you.
Hey.
Got a few off-the-cuff questions, really.
Yeah, go for it.
If you was a biscuit, what type of biscuit would you be?
I'd be an Oreo, I think.
Okay.
Oreo's a solid bet. It's a little bit American, but not. It's got a little crispness to it, so it does okay in the UK as well.
It's a good answer, to be fair. So, on with the game. So, I just tried it for the first time. I didn't know much about it before. What is your favourite weapon, and what's the most creative takedown you've seen?
So, my favorite weapon, I gotta say the little red hatchet is pretty tempting. It's very useful, it's quick, you get it early, and a lot of times I'll hang on to it through a full playthrough, the whole way through, and still find it useful all the time.
Yeah.
Although we got a few firearms, this Sterling's kind of neat. There's some like post-World War II era guns that were pretty cool. Most interesting takedown, I've caught some guys coming up ladders and kicked them back off of it, which is super satisfying.
Yeah. I had that where someone was climbing the ladder, or coming down the ladder to get me, and then obviously it's an easy takedown. But I really like the desperation that the game makes you feel. I found it great the way that you can obviously throw weapons, and especially with like the two-handers. I did not expect to be able to lob those at my enemies. So it's like, I like the fact that when you're running out of gear, like arrows, for example, you can just, that's it, take them out that way. No, it's really good. What made you pick these events in this location? Was there a long process? Was it almost somewhere else? Or
it was, well, I mean, setting it in the Lake District was an early idea by one of our owners. Jason Kingsley really wanted to do a post-apocalyptic game that was green and British and pretty, and it's just a popular holiday destinations for all those. So we like the idea of, taking this wonderful little holiday destination and just flipping it on its head and making it be the area where something bad happened. So
was it was based on a real event, right?
Yeah, it was one of the biggest nuclear accidents in the world that pretty much most of the world doesn't know about.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't.
So
I had no idea.
We're riffing on that as a government cover-up, and maybe it wasn't just a nuclear accident. Maybe it was something else. And so hence the quarantine and whatnot. And then you as player try to get down to the truth of what it is that's going on in this odd location.
I've got a little bit of like the cult vibes from some of the enemies. What's your favorite like enemy encounter that you have in the game, and why?
Yeah, there's one I got with the bandits. So we've got a faction of outlaws that are kind of vaguely dark Morris dancer kind of looking guys. So they've got some cool style, and they love their whiskey, and they make a lot of Molotov cocktails out of it. Some of those guys are pretty fun to fight, and occasionally you can take one down right while they've got a Molotov on their hand, and if they're in a crowd, you can take the bunch of them out. So that's like one of my combat moments, besides kicking guys off ladders. That's a pretty good one.
I did come across two of those earlier. The accents are just hilarious.
Yeah.
Sorry guys if you're from the area. But with the cult, was that I assume it's a cult, but you said about returning to Earth, and obviously there was like plant mobs. Is that inspired by any real cults in the past, or is that a complete fiction?
We're set in like 1962. The beginning of the quarantine happened in 57, so which is the real world, like nuclear accident at Windscale, now Sellafield. So we really try to hit that era, but then look back even further and just think, if you were surviving without supplies, whatever, like what would you do? And so that became kind of the Back to Nature group, who had like kind of religious overtones, but kind of shifted back to more of a pagan beliefs as they were influenced by part of this mysterious thing that's happening in the area. So
to be fair, I was traveling around, I didn't even realize about these plant mobs, and then suddenly one just started spitting at me. I like the fact that there's different approaches you can take.
Very much so.
You can play it your way, right?
Yeah, that was a big thing for us, is never to be forced how to play it. If you want to play a little aggressive, that's fine. If you want to play just kind of detective work, that's fine. If you want to do like stealth and tactical like aggression, that's fine. Or if you want to just try to avoid it and be total pacifist, like that's a-okay as well. So just really not to dictate to the player, just to give them choices and let them, feel satisfied with, hey, I got through that thing in a smart way. And whether that was via a violent way or a non-violent way, like both are totally valid.
In terms of actual lockdown that we had in 2020, did that give any inspiration for the game in places that you wouldn't have had other than that experience in that type of situation?
You can nick toilet roll.
Okay.
So there's that, it was a little bit, you start thinking about what would come up as being difficult or what would come up being scarce when you're in that situation and you can't get access to all the things you normally get. What would become important? We don't have money because what does money do for you? It's just an arbitrary like value, really. And really, when you're in a situation like that, toilet roll becomes valuable. Food becomes valuable. There's some various things. Obviously, in our world, maybe a bullet might be, or maybe that special weapon might be, because that's going to allow you options to survive. So just trying to build in enough mechanisms that you can kind of choose how you want to equip yourself and get the stuff you need to pursue the game as you want to.
I used to be part of a metal detecting club back
Yay!
in the day. Do you know what the inspiration to use one of those was specifically? Was there someone in your team that likes metal detecting as a hobby?
It was funny. When we knew we wanted to make it interesting for players to find equipment, supplies, or story. And we thought, hey, if I'm in the apocalypse and I want to keep something safe, what would you do? You'd bury it. I mean, that's why people still do it around here. You find old, Norman coins or Viking stuff, When we first came across the idea, and one of the owners, Chris Kingsley, got very excited. Immediately ran out and got a real metal detector for us to test out. So we've got one floating around the office still. I think he nicked it and took it home to check out his property. So.
Any things you're excited for people to experience for the first time?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of stuff you can see from videos we've released. Obviously, you guys are getting to play the game right now. That's going to be cool. But some of the later game stuff is really spectacular. So I can't wait till it comes out and people get to those points and start seeing those bits and their reactions to it, because it's really cool.
I'm looking forward to see the later game, but thank you for your time.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And hey, cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed my video. If you did, please hit the like button and consider subscribing. And if you'd like to see my hands-on gameplay, click the link to go there now. I've been Danny, and this is Big Bots, Little Bots, Arm Bots, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.